Hello everyone and welcome to yet another workshop on PYQs of maths. Right, so this is Infinity Learn JEE YouTube channel and I am your host and host Ashish over here to help you out with the tips and tricks of mathematics. So today in this particular workshop I have picked another topic called as mathematical reasoning. Now you will always find one problem coming from this particular topic. So in this particular workshop, we'll try how to gain those 4 marks which are there in your paper waiting for each one of you to conquer and acquire it. So let us begin on this particular workshop. So I hope so far your preparation of IIT JEE would be going on the right track, right? I hope so. Isn't it right? So it is right. Now, the one thing that you have to focus in the coming days, right, as far as your preparation is concerned, make a slot, right, make a slot in which you write your paper and make sure that slot is fixed. For example, if I pick a morning slot, then morning slot, my timing should be from 9:30 to 12:30, a timing that would be the timing of the JEE Main. Or if I pick a noon slot, then my timings would be 2:30 to 5:30. So I have to pick these 2 slots and only in these 2 slots you have to write your test. Because on the day of your exam, that will happen somewhere in the month or somewhere in the week starting from 20th, right? So you will be writing your exam in one of these 2 slots. So right now it is the time to make you yourself habituated or familiar with that particular timing, right? That time slot. So let's say if you're writing a test at 9:30 a.m. in the morning, make sure from 8:30 to 9:30 you don't do anything. Have your breakfast before 8:30. Sit down in an empty room where there is no disturbance. 9:30 to 12:30 write any mock test. If you're writing at 2:30 to 5:30, 1:30 to 2:30, you will do nothing, right? No studies, nothing, because on the day of the exam also you will be doing nothing in that 1 hour, right? You will be sitting idle or waiting outside your examination hall. So we need to make sure that we work in as much as realistic environment as our JEE mains would be. Because apart from your academics, apart from your knowledge that you have conquered, right, you need to make sure that your mind also is stable for those 3 hours, right? It is also comfortable. So for that, start following these 2 timings for your test, right? So now we'll move on. So moving into the particular workshop, the first thing is always, right, the like, subscribe and share, right? So each one of you know, but still, right, share it as much as you can. Once again, right, for the IL classes, the master classes at Infinity Learn, right, you can always register for a free master class. These are available on our website, which is infinitylearn.com. You can visit over there and there are plenty of master classes happening every day, right? So you can pick your subjects, you can pick the topics that you want to join. These are the free classes, so nothing you have to pay for these classes. The top educators are over there to help you understand the concepts and the understanding. So be there and enjoy the learning. So these are the different features in those particular workshop, but the important and the most essential one is that you will learn right from the basic till the advanced level of that particular concept. So be there on the website, enroll, register and enjoy those master classes with the top educators. So now we'll move on to the mathematical reasoning. Now as far as mathematical reasoning is concerned, right, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे concepts नहीं हैं, right? या तो वो आपसे truth table बनवाता है या फिर वो तुमसे negation क्या होता है, contra positive क्या होता है, converse क्या होता है, inverse क्या होता है. अगर मैं गौर से बोलता हूँ इन 5 चीज़ों में पूरी की पूरी कहानी खत्म हो जाती है, राइट? कौन सी 5 चीज़ें? ट्रुथ टेबल, कॉन्ट्रा पॉजिटिव ऑफ अ स्टेटमेंट, इनवर्स, नेगेशन एंड कन्वर्स, राइट? इन्हीं सब में अपना आंसर निकल के आ जाएगा. वही सारे क्वेश्चंस को मैं आज लेके आया हूँ यहाँ पे. सो वी वुड बी डिस्कसिंग ऑल दोज प्रॉब्लम्स, ऑल दोज कंसेप्ट. सो स्टे विथ मी, राइट, एंड विल एक्सप्लोर द मैथमेटिकल रीजनिंग. नाउ द वेरी फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, राइट, ऑब्जर्व, sorry. The very first question over here, observe that it says the statement, right? This is a statement given to me and it says that it is a tautology or its equivalent or a fallacy or equivalent. A tautology means when your final outcome would be truth in all case. Fallacy is when your final outcome is false in all the possible cases. Equivalent to this is, which means that your input and output, the mapping should be same for this function and this function if B is the option or D is the option. So anyhow, I have to make a truth table because I cannot check every option over here. So we'll make a truth table for this particular statement. Now for the truth table, we know there would be P and Q and R. So there are three parameters over here, P, Q and R. So I will have T, F and so on for P, Q and R. Let us make a truth table now. So we have P, Q and R, right? So we have three statements. Now we have no negation is there, right? So I need to find out P arrow Q, right? So we'll try to find out in bits and pieces. So I know I need to find out P arrow Q, then I have to find out the intersection with P arrow Q. Then I have to find out Q arrow R. Then I have to find out the intersection of these two, right? So let's say I call this as A and this is B. So I have to find out A and B, right? So when I say intersection, it is basically B. This is A and B, right? So this is this. Now I have to find out A and B goes to R, right? So this would be my final output, right? So I have made all the possible cases, right? So when you make a truth table, always pick number of statements. So P, Q, R, I have 3. Then divide everything into bits and pieces. So I started with P arrow Q, then P and P arrow Q, then Q arrow R, then it's and then arrow with R. So finally I'll have the answer. So now I'll write the possible values over here. So everything it's P, Q, right, and R. So it can be true, true, right? This can be true. So this is true, true, false, true, false, true, true, false, false, right? So now I have false, true, true, false, true, false. Now I have false, false, true, false, 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 right? So there are these 8 possibilities if there are 3 statements, right? So for each, I will find my answer, right? So you have to do it quite, cautiously, because one mistake, you can lose out your 4 marks. That's why I am doing it with patience. Right? So now it is P arrow Q. So if P then Q, right? So if P then Q, right, I will have the truth table for this. So now let's see. If P is true, Q is true, this would be true. If P is true, Q is true, this is also true, right? So if P is true, Q is false, this is false. So this will also be false. If P is false, this is true, so this will also be true. False, false, this is true, right? So that is the truth table for if P then Q. Then I have to find out the truth table of this and this, so these two, with the AND condition. What is the AND condition, right? This is a AND, right? So AND means if both of them are true, then my statement is true. If one of them is false, then my answer is false, right? So now we'll check this column and this column. True, 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 false, false, true, false, 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 true, false, false, true, false, false, true, false, and false, right? So I got the value for A, right? Now I'll find if Q then R. So these two columns, right? Right? If Q then R. So true, true, this is true. True, false, this is false. False, true, this is false. False, false. True, true. True, false. If one of them is false, my answer is false. And if P then Q. Sorry, it was if P then Q. And I have followed AND condition, right? So if P, then Q, right? If it is A and B, then one of them is false, it is false, right? Both needs to be true. That's for AND condition. This was if Q then R. If Q then R, then let me show it over here so that you get an understanding. P, Q, if P then Q, right? So if these are true, this is true. If this is true, this is false. Then this is false. If this is false, this is true, this is true. And if this is false, this is false, this is true. So the only case where if P then Q is false is when P is happening but Q is not happening. So if P is true and Q is false, right? So once again, I'll do this again. If Q then R, Q then R, true, true. See, TF is false. So I will find out TF first. TF, false. Where is TF? TF, false. Right now everything is true. So I got B. Now I have to find A and B. This is A and B. A and B is, if one of them is false, everything is false. So this is true, false, 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 right? So now I have to plot this A and B with R. So if this, then this, right? So I know when first is true, second is false, then only my answer is false. So first is true, second is true, first is true, second is false. So where is first is true? I have nowhere, right? So I'll get all T's. There is no false, right? Because if there is a false, then false will occur when P is true and Q is false. This is first, A and B. So I should have a true over here, and over here true, and over here false. I have no such case. So all of them outputs are true. So I can say this particular expression, right, which is written over here, it's a tautology. Why? Because observe the outcomes. All the outcomes are true. Hence I can say my answer is option A for this particular example. This is how we make a truth table and try to find out the values. The only thing we have to make sure is that we are cautious, right? Do not make even a single mistake. A silly mistake will get a -1. This is for if P then Q, right? So you can also draw the truth table for the other cases, P, Q. Let's say if it's P and Q, right? As I said, true, true, this is true. True, false, this is false. If I take one of them is false, then it is false, right? If it would be a union, which is P, right? Union would be like this, P, Q, P and Q, right? So union means OR condition. So for OR, if one of them is true, the statement is true. So this is true, true, true. If one of them is true, the statement is true. If both of them are false, that is the only case when it will be a false, right? So remember the basic truth table that will be helpful in finding out the truth table for a bigger expression. So now we move on to the second example. Once again 2021. The example says this compound statement given over here is equivalent to which of these following? Right, so once again I'll make a truth table over here. Now over here we have only two statements P and Q. So now it becomes more simple and lesser clumsy as compared to three statements P, Q, R, which was there in the statement number 1 or the question number 1. So now over here, observe. If you get any doubt, right, posted in the chat, I will reply. So now I have P, Q, right, and we have negation of P. So let us also find negation of P. Then I need to find P union Q or Q. Then I have to find the intersection. So if this is A, this is B, then A and B, right? And I call this as C. Now C implies Q. So it would be C implies Q, right? So we'll quickly find out the truth table for these. So now we have 2, so it will be TT, TF, FT or FF, right? These are the 4 different possible ways, right? So now negation of P means opposite, right? So if I am good, negation would be I am not good. Bad is not a negation, right? In mathematical reasoning, it is black or white, right? 0 or 1. So either I am good or I am not good. I am bad or not bad. So negation is not bad, right? So I am a boy, the negation of this statement would be I am not a boy. So over here, right, negation of P would be, if it's a T, negation would be false, right? So just the opposite. Now I have to find out P or Q. P or Q means if one of them is true, the statement is true, right? P or Q. So these two, true, 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 false. Now C is A and B, right? Now A is this and is this. So these two columns. And means if one of them is false, the statement is false. So now this is false, false, true, false. Now if C then Q. Remember the order. This is if C then Q. Don't do if Q then C, otherwise your answer would be incorrect. If C then Q. Now if C then Q, if you remember if C then Q, if you get confused inside the examination, make a table of if then. If P then Q. T T T, T F F, F T T, F F T. So the false I get when this is TF, right? So now we'll check TF. This is FT, FF, TT, FF. There is no TF, right? This is column C, this is column Q. So I don't have TF, so I will not have a F over here. So I will have a T in all the possible cases. So once again, this is also a tautology, right? I am getting all the outcomes as T. Now let us see the options. Now in the options, I don't have a tautology, right? I have 4 different options given, which is P and Q, negation of P if Q, right? And so on. So now I'll check the options. First of all, we need to find out option A. What is option A? Option A is P and Q. So P and Q, I already have P or Q. I already have P or Q. This is TTF. So I know this is not my answer. B, P and negation of Q. I don't have a negation of Q. So let me write a negation of Q over here. So negation of Q. Negation of Q would be F, T, F, T. Now P and minus Q. So TF, it's an and, right? So my answer would be false. So the first one is false. So I know this is not my answer, right? I am looking for something that gives me T, 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 right? All truth. Now the C one. C is if P then Q. Where is if P then Q? This is, no sorry, I don't have if P then Q. So let us find out if P then Q, right? If P then Q, right? So if P then Q, this is TT, right? So this would be T, TF, this would be false, this would be true, this would be true. So now if I take the negation of this, it would be F, T, F, F, right? So I know C will also be the incorrect option. So obviously my answer is D. D needs to be the correct answer. So if you want, you can draw the truth table. Otherwise, if A, B, C are not true, I know the D has to be my answer, because the question says I have to find out the equivalent statement, right? So truth table, making a truth table will simplify our the comprehension of that particular statement. Just make the truth table. It will take 3 to 4 minutes to make a truth table, but by investing 3 to 4 minutes, we can make sure that we are scoring those 4 marks inside their examination hall. And 4 marks, each one of you know that it counts immensely. Now over here I have the negation of this statement, right? Now over here I will not be using the truth table, I would be using the properties, right? Now what does the property say? Now you have to find out the negative of this statement. There is negation of P and P, Q, right? I have to find out negation of this, right? Now these symbols, right, you might be observing I am saying them union, intersection, and or, right, whereas they have a different name. Now these are similar to your set theory where we used to have union, intersection of two sets. This sign represents similar to an intersection, this sign represents similar to a union. Remember, union was a U and intersection was a inverted U. This is inverted, this is right the upward, not U, but they represent the same. Logically, their meaning is also same, right? And you remember De Morgan's law, complement is as good as the negation, right? Complement was except A, negation is also that except A, right? So what was De Morgan's law? A intersection B, whole complement is A complement union B complement. So we distribute the complement and we change intersection to union or union to intersection. I will use the same logic over here, right? So my negation will behave as good as a complement, right? So now I am distributing this negation to everything. What will happen? Negation of negation, complement of complement becomes the A itself. So negation of negation P is P. This is intersection, this becomes union, this becomes complement, this becomes intersection, this becomes complement, right? So instead of a complement, it is negation, right? So let me correct this mathematically. So negation, logically I am using this as a negation, but this is, logically I am using it as a complement, but this is negation. So I got this. So now I can distribute this union. So P union negation of P, right? P union negation of P, union, intersection P union negation of Q, right? So I have distributed this union this, this union this. Now P union negation of P, right? So A union complement of A will be the universe, right? If I take the set A and its complement, I'll get the universe. So over here, P union negation of P is basically a true statement in all the cases. So this becomes a confirmed true statement. So my answer would be P union negation of Q. Now where do I see P union negation of Q? P union negation of Q. Option number B would be your correct answer. So in this mathematical reasoning, right, when you have negation or and or, you can also use the logic of set theory. That will also work over here. And we are more comfortable with set theory because this has been set theory. We have been doing this for last so many years, right? Mathematical reasoning we have been doing for last, we have studied this in 12th or a few months ago, right, when your board exams were there, right? So this example is done. So we have the answer as option B. Now the next question, I have to find out the negation, right? The negation of a statement. As I said, negation would be, right, opposite. So now see, the statement is what? For all m larger than 0, there exists some x belongs to S such that x is larger than or equal to m. So I have to find out the negation, right? Now negation of x larger than equal to m would be what? Negation of x larger than equal to m would be x less than m, right? So I know in my statement I should see this part, x less than m. So where do I see x less than m? I have x less than m over here, I don't have over here. So B cannot be the answer, D cannot be the answer, right? So answer is either A or C. Now observe, there exists m, this is correct because this is defined for m only, such that for all x, and now over here there exists x. So which one shall I pick? The difference is over here. It says for all x, it says for there exists some x, right? Now over here it was given as there exists x belongs to S. What will be the negation of this? For all x, right? So negation of this is for all x. So this is the incorrect answer. My correct option is option number A. So this is how we find the negation of statements, right? There is negation. Let's say if I have if P then Q. Now if somebody asks you find out the converse, contrapositive and inverse, right? Right? If there is a statement given, if P then Q, and if somebody asks you find out the converse of this, find out the contrapositive of this, or find out the inverse of this. So what is the converse of this? If P then Q. So if P happens then Q happens. What is the opposite? If Q happens then P happens, right? So I can say if Q, then P, right? Just the converse of it, right? For example, I will go to a movie if you are coming with me. So if you are coming with me, I'll go for a movie, right? So if P then Q, so P then Q becomes Q then P, it's converse. Contrapositive is, right? Yeah, contrapositive is if P then Q, then if not Q, then not P, right? So contrapositive is if not Q, then not P. So let's say if somebody says a statement, or let's say I have an example for contrapositive. Yeah, see this example. So if you will work, you will earn money, right? So that is your statement. What is the statement? If you will work, you will earn money. I have to find out the contrapositive of this. So contrapositive would be what? This is your P, right? I'll change the color. This is your P, if, and this is your Q. So if I have to find the contrapositive, what will be the contrapositive? Negation of this. So you will not earn money. You will not earn money. What is P? You will work. So you will not work, right? Now if you look at the option, if you will not earn money, you will not work. If you will not earn money, you will not work, right? The answer is option number C, right? So got it? So whenever you have to find the contrapositive, it says if P then Q, then contrapositive would be negation of Q, negation of P. Reverse it and take the negation of both the statements P and Q. This is how we can find out the contrapositive of any given statement. Now let's see, I have another example, right, that has been asked in 2020. Once again, contrapositive. So statement is if a function is differentiable at A, right? So this is my P. It is also continuous at A. This is my Q. So if I have to find out the contrapositive, it would be if not Q, then not P. So what will I say? If the function is not continuous at A, then the function is not differentiable at A. So not continuous at A, not differentiable at A. So where do I see not continuous at A, not differentiable at A? D, right, is my correct answer, right? So if P then Q, contrapositive is if not Q, then not P. Sorry. Right. Another example, 2020, contrapositive. If I reach the station in time, then I will catch the train. Once again, understand this. This is your P. This is your Q, right? It's very simple, no logic. If P then Q, minus Q, then minus P. So minus Q would be I will not catch the train. I will not reach the station. Where do you see this? I will not catch the train, then I do not reach the station, right? Option number B is my correct answer, right? If I will not catch the train, then I do not reach the station in time, right? So simple, contrapositive statements are very simple to find out, right? These are like 10 seconds, 5 seconds question, but understand, read the options carefully. Do not mark an incorrect option just because that you are rushing to the particular question. Invest 10 seconds, fine, right? Right? Without, do not be, like कि 5 seconds बचा है लेकिन -1 लेके आ गए. Invest 10 seconds, invest 15 seconds, read the statements carefully because बच्चे सिर्फ एक ही गलती करते हैं. समझते सही है, यहाँ पे दिखता नहीं है, कुछ और मार्क करके आ जाता है एग्जाम में. And then we regret, right? So do not make such mistakes. What is the next statement? Now I have to find out the negation, right? Negation of if P then Q. So if I become a teacher, then I will open a school. What is the negation, right? So negation of P and Q. This will be given by, right, P and negation of Q. Right, this is the equivalent result, right? So negation of P, if P then Q would be equal to P and negation of Q. So I have to find out the negation of this statement. What is P? P is this. If I become a teacher, what is Q? I will open a school. So what will be my answer? I become a teacher and I will not open a school. Where do you see among the option? Right? Option. I will become a teacher and I will not open a school. Yes, option A is the correct answer. Right? P remains P. Instead of if then, I will have a and condition and negation of Q. So P and negation of Q is your negation of a conditional statement, which is if P then Q. Now we'll move on to the next example. Which of the following is equivalent to the Boolean expression P and negation of Q? Right? अभी अपन ने बात किया, तो इसको proof भी कर लेते हैं. Right? So अभी अपन ने देखा था negation of P if P then Q. Now I can write this negation of if P then Q is nothing but negation of P or Q, right? If P then Q is equivalent to negation of P union Q. Now I have a negation outside. You can distribute this negation. Negation becomes P. Union becomes intersection. This becomes negation of Q. So P and negation of Q will always be given by negation of P if P then Q. So I know this is my answer, right? So you can remember this property because this property will always be helpful. Negation of P and Q will be given by P and negation of Q. So that is the example from 2021. So now we move on to the another example, 2021, right? I think this is the same example that we have done, right? The very first example, yeah, it is the same. The answer is tautology, right? There were 3 statements, right? So this question has been repeated, right? So once again, right, it's the same answer. We know we have solved it. We'll make a truth table for this particular case, right? So with this, we have come to an end of this particular session of mathematical reasoning. As I told you earlier, right, it would be a very small session because there are hardly any concepts, right? But right, every paper you will always find one question appearing from mathematical reasoning. So make sure you understand these concepts. Try out the problems in your assignments, in the other PYQs which are there of the previous years. You will find these questions only repeated once again and again and again. So if you know the truth table, right, practice truth table as much as you can, guys. Second, tautology, right, tautology, fallacy, and if I talk about the contrapositive, inverse, converse and negation, right? So these are the only concepts as far as mathematical reasoning is there. The most important of all is truth table, because let's say if I don't know the converse, if I don't know the contrapositive, I can still use the truth table and find out the relations among the 4 options. So with this, we come to an end of this mathematical reasoning, and one information about the rapid revision rankers ultimate package, which is also known as RRR over here, right, at Infinity Learn. So this is a RRR batch. Now what is a RRR batch, right? We all have seen RRR movie, right? We have a, right, it's a very fantabulous movie. So we have copied that particular concept, right, as per the name is there. So we call it rapid revision rankers ultimate package. Now what is RRR? Now in RRR, this is only for JEE aspirants who are writing JEE this year in 2022, right? That is, in the month of June, they are writing their mains, and in the month of August, they are writing their advance. So we have the live classes for all the students who are enrolling for this particular batch. Now in this particular batch, we are covering every topic of maths, physics and chemistry. These topics are being taught to you by the top educators of Infinity Learn or Sri Chaitanya, right? Now, these live classes are different from these YouTube live classes. YouTube live classes are where I'm coming to you or we are talking about PYQs and stuff. In these live classes will happen on our portal, right? So on our, we have a different portal where student can log in and attend their lectures. So these live classes will happen over there. I would also be there, other faculties will also be there. So we will be taking these live classes, we'll be teaching you the concepts, right, from the very basics, right? So we'll be teaching you the theory, we'll be taking on different examples, and we'll make sure that by the end of every workshop, you are 100% perfect as far as that concept is concerned. So this is how we treat or teach, right, our students in that particular batch. Now, apart from that learning that you get from the top educator, right, we have self-learn videos, right? What are self-learn videos is, they are the pre-recorded videos which are available on the platform of every concept, every sub-concept, everything that is required for any competitive exam preparation. So you can also watch these videos, you can go through these videos of every educator over there and enjoy your learning. Apart from the self-learn videos, we have the self-learn flashcards. Flashcards are easy to, it helps you to memorize things. For example, let's say in chemistry, we all know that in inorganic chemistry, P block, right, metallurgy, we have to memorize those things. In indefinite integration, there are plenty of formulas, right? We have to remember all those cases, all those formulas. So that is there, the flashcards are handy. Next is adaptive practice. So this is about the learning, this is about your self-learning. Now this is about your practice, right? Your practice and your test taking strategies, because those are as important as these things. Thank you so much, Rishabh, right? So adaptive practice, you have a test, you have a daily test, right, in your batch, which happens on different topics of physics, chemistry and maths, right? Then apart from your daily test, you have a test series where all the top students across the nation, they are enrolled and they write those tests along with you. So if you want to have a rank where you want to compete with the top students across the nation, you want to see where do you stand, then this is the test series which is the right thing for you, right? Because if you are competing with a handful of students, that will not give you the correct parameter to judge our performance as far as a large scale is concerned. So this is the another advantage of this revision batch, right? Doubts app is there, right, where you can ask doubts, where you can post doubts, where you can watch the videos on your doubts. Most importantly, right, the one thing that I always find interesting in this particular, or the most interesting or most tempting, is the live classes, right? Because all the top educators are there, they teach through those live classes. These sessions are interactive, you have quizzes in the session, you have polls in the session, right? You have audios, videos sharing in the session, right? There are presentations, there are notes, everything is being combined in that one online capsule, right? So it is as good as an offline class. The only thing is that we are here in front of the camera and you are on the receiving end. Apart from it, it is the best feature that I have seen as far as online teaching is concerned, right? So with this, we come to an conclusion of this particular session. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for listening. Right? It was a pleasure being here and helping you out, mentoring you out for different topics of mathematics. I will be here tomorrow at the same time, 2:30, with another topics on mathematics. Till then, enjoy your day and keep learning with